Hello and welcome to Refuse. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and this is a double feature. Double two. Um, the reason for that is that Captain Marvel number 4, probably go through this really quickly. And secondly, Faithless number 1, I can't really even show too much of it, to be honest. Um, this was a surprise to me. I had no idea this was coming out. I happened to see it at my backup comic shop, and I happened to notice that it's Brian Azzarello, who I really like a lot. And it's also Boom Studios, and I've been saying it, Boom Studios has been knocking it out of the park lately. I've really been enjoying. Now, granted, I've been picking up a few books. Empty Man came out. I've been enjoying Wizard Beach. And so this, I'm like, I talked to the comic shop owner, and she said it's like erotic and magic. Yeah, not really my thing, I'll be honest. But I figured, I'm gonna put some faith in Brian Azzarello, and I think it kind of paid off. Um, but you know what? This is definitely more the think Vertigo. Think classic Vertigo, not current Vertigo. That's this would have done well in that period. So yeah, think of it. I don't want to say adult oriented, but it's definitely you should be above 18. Um, so I'm gonna just put this aside. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna do that the second half of the review. That way you don't have to sit through this if you may be a little bit younger, or if you're not into erotic literature, which, like I said, I'm not. So anyway, this actually is probably my favorite part of the book is the cover. Amanda Connor doing basically a homage to the Jim Lee X-Men cover when it was Rogue with the kind of zombified Carol Danvers when she was Miss Marvel. You've probably seen the image. I still have the book somewhere. And as you know, at the end of the last issue, even though her hair was colored wrong, yeah, Rogue is here too. And we find that she's actually being mind controlled. She's got a little collar on and she's being controlled by Machismo. So we get the introduction here about giving their backstory, their history, which is nice. Um, how Rogue, when she was first starting out, stole Carol's powers and basically personality, left her for dead. And if you remember, during the X-Men run, sometimes Carol's personality would come out, and in times of great stress. So yeah, here we have the two of them are fighting. Rogue is slowly absorbing her powers from a distance, and you get some of the goofy green. Yeah, I haven't been reading the current series, so I don't know if that's what her effect looks like, or if they were just doing it um, to show that she's siphoning power. And yeah, um, she ends up, Rogue ends up getting zapped by Machismo, and God, only been there for how long? She's already done the Road Warrior thing, and Machismo's kind of given his, it's not really a soliloquy, but he's just babbling on about Rogue and how this is Carol's great nemesis and how, she's unable to get over it. Um, and during the rest of the time, we still have the rest of the team is assembling their strike force. And yeah, you know what? She-Hulk has been here she just got here and she's doing the face paint too. Granted, we don't know how much time was going on during the kind of training montage in the previous issue, but yeah, all the face paint and yeah, it's stupid. Um, but we find out that Machismo has built an arena for the two of them to fight because, as his son Sam is saying that he wants a queen. And so he's going to force Carol Danvers to finally take down Rogue and defeat her and kill her. She was even saying to kill her. Wouldn't she be better off without her? And basically making her stronger by getting over her greatest defeat. But yeah, we see Rogue is being mind controlled. She's begging Carol to kill her, and So yeah, the fight goes on, and Carol comes up with the idea to just let Rogue absorb everything. Um, and so Carol can take control of Rogue's body again, which Carol's like the only person that can do this, you know. No one else seems to be able to control Rogue when she takes over, when she absorbs too much of them. So yeah, I don't remember that really being a thing. I'm guessing it's only because their previous history. Yeah, there's She-Hulk with the stupid eye thing again. And yeah, here we are going to war, and yeah, they gave Jennifer Walters power armor, but basically only the arms. Uh, yeah. Hulk exoskeleton. No, that's more like it. Yeah, but it turns out they're walking into a trap. Yeah, this book is dumb. I mean, I can go through it pretty quickly. The only interesting thing is, of course, the whole Rogue Carol battle, I guess you would say. They're dynamic. They've supposedly made peace, but they're not friends. They'll never be friends, which makes sense. That's more of what is more interesting to her character. It gives Carol some character on this. And yeah, they have some fighting in here, and while Rogue's being mind controlled, because obviously how else you're going to have them fight. And Carol does admit that, Rogue has become a great hero. And so yeah, it's almost humanizing, but overall the story is stupid. The whole It's not even an alternate reality. It's a force field put over the city, and they're trapped in there, and everything has gone Mad Max in a few months. The whole premise is dumb. If you want to do the goofy hair thing and all the makeup, the Mad Max, have her end up in another universe, another dimension, and not have everyone else joining in. Um, yeah, the book's dumb, but on the plus side, Kelly isn't trying to be so funny in this issue. Yeah, the son of Machismo, who is leading one of the teams. His team is called, Man Team, and he even complains he doesn't like the name. So it's dumb. My rating on this, eh, I'm going 5 o'clock on it. I mean. Well, it's okay. We'll get a new Captain Marvel #1 here soon. I'm guessing, was this issue 4? Yeah, another 8 issues. We'll be due for another #1, so I'm getting that out of there. The best thing was, like I said, I like that cover. But I like the original, and I like Amanda Connors, so I'm getting that out of the way. And we're going to take a look at Faithless here. Now, I really have to be careful, because there is some nudity in here, and it deals with some uh, adult subjects. And I said that this would have been perfect in one of the new Vertigo books. It had been one of the new Vertigo relaunch books. And it got me thinking, isn't there another book that hasn't launched yet? I mean, I know they canceled the oh god, what was the Jesus Superman book, Second Coming? I look forward to that one. Um, they've put the kibosh on that one. But it seems to me there was another book coming out called Safe Sex that was about lesbians in a future where love is controlled and forbidden. And I don't recall if it was just gay love was forbidden or all love. What happened to that one? It was called Safe Sex, if I recall. Well, anyway, the new Vertical books have been so bad, and they've been kind of pushing all the whole the cultural war type thing, and the wokeness. Whereas this one takes a lot of the same themes and actually just makes a story. So yeah, we have the two characters here, kissing in a. Took me a minute before I realized that's supposed to be blood. Sorry, red. I've told you many times about my problems with red. So, this book is about a character named Faith, who they've described her as being bored, and she dabbles in magic, and you see her with some of her friends that tease her for being into the occult, and I gotta skip the first page because the book. I'm assuming if you've made it this far that we're working a little blue here. We're working a little after hours here, so I can say that this book opens up with Faith masturbating. and yeah, having some issues. So, oh, I misjudged what the first page where it started. Um, so yeah, um, you're not really seeing too much, but we're in the coffee shop where she's at, and basically we get this kind of montage of all the people who are hanging out at the coffee shop, and the various weird characters. Um, it's a nice little setup. We get the personalities. Um, and in the midst of this, as Faith is getting up, she accidentally knocks over a coffee on this woman who's passing by. Who we find out is at least her ex-boyfriend calls her Poppy, and so she takes off her shirt right before her changes, and she admits that she only went into the coffee shop to have a coffee to escape, someone, but he's waiting for her, and she's trying to, get away. I get that, but can you tell me why? Because she says it's over, and so Faith steps in and walks away, and he's like, so he figures out what's going on. Um, Now, Faith is obsessed with the occult, and her friends tease her because her magic doesn't work. Think of it more like a practicing Wiccan. The page in the coffee shop, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go a little bit into my personal history. In the 90s, when I was a younger man, I spent a lot of time in coffee shops and various places like that. I knew a lot of people like this. I knew the people that like to dabble in Wicca, and I don't know why I did that. I have nothing against it, but the ones who who had seen Charmed and thought that was the that was going to be their life. Um, I knew characters like this, and even the barista, her friend, is saying that what she's into, um, she's messing with the devil, and is against it, and yeah, opposing viewpoints. It's really interesting. Um, but yeah, I bring this up because yeah, I knew people I knew people like Faith. But what we find is everyone teases her that her magic doesn't work, and um, I have to find this one page. Yeah, suddenly that is solved. Poppy's boyfriend issue is solved. Now, was it coincidence? Was it Faith's inner action? Was it the fact that she's there? And Poppy starts taking things a little too far. Now, I do have a few problems. Um, the art on this book sometimes is a little bit hazy when it comes to the storytelling. I went to this page in particular because as they're walking down the street, Faith mentions that she doesn't have any more money to buy Poppy a drink, and that's when she accidentally bumps into this guy. You see, she bumps into him. We turn to the very next page. We're going to make sure we're not skipping a page. And suddenly, Faith is holding up a wallet with that kind of look on her face, like, huh? See? And Bobby's like, what? So Faith runs and tells this guy that he dropped the wallet, and he picked it. She picked it up, found his, looked at his ID, saw it was him. So he gives her $100 reward. And Faith, that was magic, right? So yeah, the art here doesn't. It almost looks like she pickpockets him, and maybe she did. Maybe that's she's trying to make it look like magic. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. That telling gaze there, if it's supposed to be like I'm just going to tell him he dropped it, but I actually pickpocketed. If that's the case, that's actually a really neat twist to her character. That she's not quite good. Um, So yeah, but then again, it's kind of a long shot that if she's going to pickpocket him, why would she give the money back expecting a reward? So it kind of works against it. Maybe it's maybe it's magic, maybe it's mundane. So yeah, we find out that she's explaining to Poppy, that she takes the magical symbols. She says they're drawings of spells or runes or something. She doesn't quite know what she's doing, but as she says, she takes them and breaks them down and builds them back up. And a really interesting take on that. Poppy says, "So this is your cookbook? Huh, never thought about it that way." And Poppy compliments her on her, painting technique. She uses a dry brush technique. And then we go to Poppy's place because she's an actual artist. It's just a weird transition from here to there suddenly, but it keeps the story moving along pretty quickly. And yeah, I'm going to stop it right there because, like I said, there's not a lot to really show. Um, but what we find is that the world of magic is real, and it is creeping into her life, or maybe just barreling in. And yeah, it is supposedly erotic magic. And like I said, I'm not really into, you know, erotic comics. Not really my thing. And the end of the issue ends, there is a sex scene. Um, but and I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But the final page is really good. Not because of the sex scene, but what happens. And it really brings home that magic, the magic occult, you know. So yeah, we have a character, Faith, who is, they keep saying she's bored with life. I mean, that's what the solicitations, and, she's totally into the occult. Her friends, um, give her crap for it. I don't really see that she's bored with life. That didn't come through. It's in the solicitation. Didn't see that really come through in the issue. Um, but, judging by what happens in the first page, she is having some problems. Um, I really like this. And that's the type of thing I like to bring up because if you take a genre that I'm not into, that I'm like, and I read this, I'm like, oh, this is good. I want to see the next issue, and it's a good cliffhanger ending. I almost said cliffhanger hanging. It's been a long day. Um, but yeah, I only picked it up because of Brian Azzarello, and he didn't fail to deliver. I really like this book. Um, I guess it's already like the lady at the comic shop, my backup comic shop, said that there's no other available printings. They're not going to second printing or whatever. Um, so yeah, I picked it up, and yeah, I recommend it. This was good. I'm going full 12 o'clock on this. And yeah, you could say, it's because of lesbians. Yeah, that's not really my thing, to be honest. Um, but yeah, I'm interested in the characters. Poppy is a little bit contrived, I'll be honest. Um, but I want to see where this story's going. So yeah, I recommend this. Captain Marvel's garbage. It's interesting that we have the two female characters on two different covers. Anyway, this book reads like what classic Vertigo used to be. Not in the very beginning, when they were still kind of, tangentially with the DC universe. This is tangentially because you have to imagine a circle and just. Um, but as Vertigo got its footing as the more mature readers, um, angle, and they could delve into stuff like this. This would have fit in perfectly. Mid Vertigo, late Vertigo. Current Vertigo is garbage. Um, and this book would have been perfect for that. So, yeah, if you don't mind the erotic, if you're into it especially, if you don't mind the fact that it is kind of an erotic tale, um, and like I said, I'm not into it, and I still really enjoyed this issue. But if you've been longing for like classic Vertigo, and you've been reading stuff like Borderlands or Zoe Quinn's awful book, and you're just like, ugh, this is an embarrassment. You know, I recommend this. I'll be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that my backup comic shop is owned by women, and if it wasn't for the fact that they recommended it, I would have been a little bit embarrassed probably to buy this. Or not embarrassed, but I would have been kind of like sheepish about it. So, anyway, yeah, recommend that. Captain Marvel, garbage. And that's all I have to say tonight. I have to pull a double tomorrow, so you might get a lab video. So prepare for the humming. which is probably not a good thing to say after doing a review of an erotic book, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time.